Hello there everyone, this is Charlie from Jackson County, West Virginia, and we'd like to talk a little bit about our tomato patch today. It did very good. Considering all the dry weather we've had, we haven't had a good hard rain around these parts of Jackson County where we live right here for probably a couple months, maybe 2.5 months. We just little sprinkles and not enough doing good. See, we just got done watering our tomatoes. The city water, it's all we got to work with right now because the rain's not filling up the rain barrel anymore. So we got to keep them watered like everything else. You need water to live. But what we did here, folks, we bought a dozen tomato plants in the spring there. Got them set out on our posts. We use metal fence posts, just like you see right there. And 6 foot, 7 foot, whatever we had available. And the reason the little bottles are on top, it helps to prevent birds from landing on them and kind of putting droppings on top of your tomato plants and your tomatoes. It helps keep them more cleaner. Okay. Now what we've done to try and help the tomato plants produce really nice vegetables, tomatoes, is we put some 10-10-10 fertilizer around them per instructions, and just healed them a little bit there to cover up the fertilizer around the trunk, the bottom of it, after the tomato plants got about maybe about 1.5 foot tall, until they done set down their roots pretty good. Anyway, let's walk around and look at the tomatoes. First off, we picked some. Look right here. Here's some tomatoes that were picked just a little bit ago off these vines. Now see how many more are still on them? Take a look at this. They're still hanging to it. Babe, don't trip over that basket there. Now, we got tomatoes coming out our ears. Check all this out. Now, what my wife and us try to do, she does more than I do because she can see them better than I can, is sucker these things. When you sucker them, we did a little video on this before, you got these little suckers.
You're not going to find many.
Because she done picked most of them off, I see. But they'll grow in between these little crotches. See right in here? There's a crotch right there between them, the big limbs. They'll get a little leaf comes out. You want to get them off there. That helps these little blooms to produce more tomatoes, more food to the tomato blossoms. They're producing real well. And then after they got about 2 feet tall, our son got his a bag of organic fertilizer. It's tomato food, tomato plant food. It's organic. It's natural sources. You put that around them, about 3 or 4 tablespoons, and then just cover it up with dirt. Aim it down here, dear, and down around the base of the tomato plants. Then just kind of cover it up. It slowly decomposes, and while it's doing that, after it rains and it gets wet down in that ground or around the roots, the plant will, it's called uptake. The plant will uptake the nourishment out of the fertilizer, organic fertilizer, that 10-10-10, whatever it happens to grab a hold of. It feeds the plant and helps it to just push out all kind of beautiful tomatoes. Check all these out. Look at this plant right here, covered with tomatoes. I mean, what more could a person ask for? They're beautiful. Not bragging on them, just saying how well they did. That's all. And other people in the area had good tomatoes too, considering the dry weather we've had. Let's take a little trip down through the middle here. Look at here. Check all this out, folks. Darling, you handle the camera there and get all this. I'll walk backwards. Now look at this. See, look at the nice strong trunks. See, look at these big healthy trunks that these tomato plants have. Look how thick that is, almost 1 inch thick. That's beautiful. That's what you look for. Big old heavy duty the vine on them tomato plants. And it's due mostly to feeding them properly, watering them well, and all that. But the plants are covered with tomatoes. And we're really happy with them. They've had a tough time with all this dry weather, but they kind of pulled out of it.
Yeah, and I think you can pick one down there.
Let me get this bad boy right
Sitting
here.
on top. No, the one on top.
The one on top right there, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get him out of there. Put them in the basket. See how easy that fell off? When they fall off that easy, you just barely pull on them. They come off there. That's all it's going. It's ready. That's enough growing time. It's ready for the kitchen table. And so every plant that I'm looking at here is just covered with tomatoes. They did very well. Thank you, tomato plants. We're proud of you for doing such a good job. Look how nice and round these things are. They're beautiful. Now I sprayed them with the permethrin insecticide when they were young plants to keep the aphids and just nuisance insects off of them so they wouldn't mess them up bad. You have to tend to your plants. Put some medicine on them. It's called insecticide to get rid of them bugs and things, or they'll ruin your crops. Let's walk around this side here, dear. Make one quick pass up this way. We didn't see the back side of these. Now look at here. Look here, folks. Take a look at this. Ain't these pretty? You can have the same thing. Anyone can grow these. You just set your mind to it. You don't want your suckers to stay on these, because if you do, they'll be all sprawled out real big, and a puff of wind can snap the limbs off and stuff like that. If you keep them nice and pruned down, get the suckers off them limbs, you'll have tons of little blooms. See under here hiding, look at them little blooms in there. Now here's a sucker right here. Look here. Aim it right here, babe. See that right there in the crotch of them two limbs? See that right there thing right there? That's a sucker. You get rid of them. You just pinch them right off, just like that. Throw them away. And here's another one trying to form, but I'll just pinch it there. See that like that there? That's what you do. You just pinch them right off. Not a big deal. And that's about all I can tell you. Look at the stalk on this one, babe. The first one right here. Oh, another thing, let me tell you real quick before we go. Here, dear. Before we go, let me tell you this. Let my camera lady here aim at the base of these. You see, our son went along and cut off the bottom leaves because they were touching the ground. And those kind of limbs that are touching the ground down there, they tend to get diseased with like a fungus comes out of the soil and gets on them, and it can actually harm the plant. It can poison the whole plant, and it won't hurt the plant at all to get them bottom limbs off. That they don't bleed. These plants don't bleed like a tree or anything does. You can just get them off with a pair of scissors, snippers, whatever you have, and then you see what a nice neat job it looks like down there, and nothing dragging on the ground to mess up your plant. This one might need a little bit of trimming done here, but yeah, he'll be okay for a while yet. So that's our little tomato patch. Good eating right here. Tomatoes are filled with vitamins, minerals, and all kinds of good things for everyone's diet. We had some sliced tomatoes. This is Sunday, the 18th of August. And I'm gonna tell you, if you haven't already, just dig you up a little section in your backyard or something. This ain't very big right here. It's not very big at all. Put you some tomato plants in there come spring next year. They take a pretty good growing time. They have a fairly long growing season before the tomatoes mature like all these are. But that's okay. It's worth it. Now listen, we're gonna go for now, and we might even come back with another video on cooking these down and storing them for the winter in a different shape. They'd be like tomato puree or cut up tomatoes chunks. You cook them down a little bit just to kill the growth hormones. Put them in Ziploc bags, freeze them in the freezer, and you got you some good eating come middle of winter and stuff, when you don't have access to real nice red ripe tomatoes like these, big and juicy and delicious. Well, listen, this has been Charlie from Jackson County, West Virginia. Always a pleasure to try to help people out. Just in case someone's not too good at this stuff, we're not experts by a long ways, but what little bit we know, we'll share our information with you. And happy growing if you grow some.